Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Laundromat Millionaire Show with Dave and Carla Menz here in Cincinnati, Ohio, sponsored by our friends over at hmcompanydraintroughs.com. If you haven't supported HM, we'd recommend that you give them a call and check out their drain troughs. If you haven't noticed, this show is totally free to you, and our sponsors is the reason why. They help to keep this show on the air and help us bring new guests on and things like that. So we want to just say thank you to them. And if you need drain troughs or any equipment in the Cincinnati or Ohio area, give them a call. So our guests today are coming to us from Bainbridge Island, Washington. They're a married couple, Beau and Liz Perra, and if I might say so, Carla, they're just sinking adorable, to be honest with you. I know that makes me sound a little bit old to say that, but they are just super high energy, a lot of fun. They are kind of branding and marketing experts. They've owned a marketing agency and done a lot of that stuff, and you can see it in their brand. They share a lot of, guerrilla marketing in this episode, but they also just share very authentically their journey and their vision for their business from day one as entrepreneurs. They're kind of serial entrepreneurs, always trying new things, and they launch with no laundromat. So I know a lot of you out here are interested in that concept. So we kind of dig into how they did that and the guerrilla marketing that went behind it and how far they've come in their first 6 months, how they got the business off the ground and some of the tips and tricks.
But before we get to our interview, have you heard about Laundry Boost's current offer? If you're looking for a new marketing strategy for the new year, they have their New Year, New Business exclusive offer. You can save $2,500 on their pickup and delivery or their self-service and wash, dry, fold growth packages. So it is a package of services, basically the complete everything you need to market your business in the new year. But let's get on with our interview with Beau and Liz.
Start a business, say, well, I need to be on social media. I need to do Google ads because I've heard someone tell me to do this. And you don't. You just need to take a deep breath and say, what makes sense? If I'm trying to hit a local audience the fastest, as fast as possible, then I need to get in front of them, like today.
3 days in like 95-degree weather. I think we got like 2 customers.
So Beau and Liz, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you.
We're super excited to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, for sure. We, as I told you guys offline before we started recording, we're always excited to have guests on the show that bring a little bit different perspective. And I'm trying to think, Carla, maybe 1 or 2 have we had guests that don't technically own a laundromat, but own a laundry pickup and delivery service.
Yeah, you might only be. We had Waleed. He was no laundromat, but he had a laundromat for a little bit before that, or ran his dad's. But he might be the only other laundry service only. So this is something different.
So for those of you, we know it's a popular thing out in the industry today to, if you can't afford a laundromat or you just don't want to make that kind of investment, to launch the pickup and delivery service first is kind of a proof of concept. So for those of you out there that are doing pickup and delivery, I'm sure you'll have a lot to learn from Beau and Liz. But if you're looking to get into the industry and thinking this might be the way in, they're going to have a lot of tips and tricks for you today too.
We got the good stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Awesome. Well, listen, what we like to do, I know you mentioned we were offline that you have several businesses that have, I assume, nothing to do with the laundromat industry. You're kind of serial entrepreneurs. I'd love to hear a little bit about a couple of those just real quickly, just to give us a little bit of a backstory.
So Beau and I we met in college, and we were both in college for graphic design. And after school, we applied to jobs, and we ended up, just hundreds and hundreds of jobs. And when we finally got offered the job, we were like, I don't even want the job. I don't even really to be honest, I don't want to work for anyone. And, we had done freelancing for various, business owners in college. And so right away, we were like, let's just start doing branding and design because that's what we had graduated with. It's what we knew. So we started out doing websites and logos and stuff, but we had no idea how to
run a business.
Yeah, we had no idea. So, cash would come in and then it would totally go away. And, we had no management of clients and getting clients and sales. We just knew how to design. And so we were continuously working side jobs on the side and still kind of really trying to figure out how to make it a full-time living. And then, family happened, things kind of shifted. We had to move back home to take care of family. And in that, we had another business idea. So I don't know. I think entrepreneurship just kind of
it gravitated towards us for sure. So then we dove head into something completely new, which was a print advertising mailer. Mm-hmm. So that was basically pure gist of it was in the place we were at. This was Bozeman, Montana. Basically every address got this mailer sent to them. Businesses bought ad space in it, and it was like your hometown coupon mailer, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Direct mail.
Yeah, direct mail piece. We had a lot of issues with the post office, and then COVID came through and just, with
Postage
everything,
ruined us.
totally just kind of shut the doors there. So, we're 3 years out of college, 2 businesses down. We're like, what is going on?
In a bunch of in a ton of credit card
Yeah,
debt.
so we're like, oh my gosh, okay, like back to the drawing boards, and we just had a shift, right? So we went back to design, and we blew it way up, right? So that's when our socials really started to grow. Like our personal social, we hit over 100,000 followers, and with that came a lot more opportunities as well. And so we really owned in on like social media, digital marketing, and kind of took that route, and it blended really well with design. And that's kind of where we came to like our third business was like a new rebirth of our design, and that was really good. And we at that point had about 16 to 17 accounts that we were managing, had a team of 5, got a new office, and then like everything else, the wind came and blew that down. So
that's another podcast.
We've had so we scaled way back with that, had a couple key clients pull some contracts. We needed a change. We wanted to move. We moved away from Montana, moved here to Bainbridge, and then we got into coaching. So again, this was like a good transition for us from social media management. And we had a lot of success with that, but got burnt out very quickly. So you can see kind of the recurring pattern of like burnout with us, and pivoting, right? And so we wanted really a hometown local business, something that was very ingrained in the community, something we could get involved with the kids. Like we have 2 kids as well. So it was important for us that we found something that was rooted in community. We were like, okay, laundromats are up, it was about that time last year, lots of talk of laundromats, lots of talks of these passive businesses, car washes, stuff like that.
And how do we get out of this cycle of like, we have these huge contracts, like we're, making thousands, multi-thousands dollar contracts with these people, and then they would pull them. And, or, hey, this happened. We were always the first one to get cut on budgets, first one to get cut when things hit the fan. And so we really wanted to step into a business where like, if one person stops reoccurring, we're okay. Like we're going to be just fine. And we really wanted a business that like wasn't so reliant on 5 key players, And the
big thing I think you talk about a lot, Dave, too, is the commodity versus value. I think we started to get very into that in that industry, just in social media in general, in that online industry. There's very like you're commoditized. You're put against the next guy, right? Like, what do you have that's better than them, and why are you $7 cheaper? Like, I mean, you can go on and on and on, and it never stops, right? So, it was important for us to get into something that was very value driven as well, right? Like, consistent. I love it. I show up, they're smiling. If I see them, I'm smiling. We a quick joke gets said, and that carries down to everything we do, and we'll talk more about that. But like, with our branding and with our messaging and everything, like every part of what we do is very, very intentional. And it's just been nice to like lock in on something so different from like what we've, it's like so, I can't even explain.
It's a different serving a customer in a different way.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, we totally understand that. So, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Launder Boost. We have a marketing company too that we partner with Brett Lyon. But it's definitely different in the marketing competitive market versus the laundry competitive market. For your client in the marketing world, you provide reports and you're like, I'm doing all this for you. I'm bringing in all these customers, but at the end of the day, you can't control the product. You can't control how good of a job that customer is doing at whatever they're doing. You're just marketing their services. Where like in your laundromat or in your laundry service, you have complete control of the product. You have complete control of what you're delivering to that person. You have complete control of your differentiation against your competitors. It's very different.
And I know too. You pointed something out that I want to draw attention to, which is I'm going to call it the family owned and operated. I think more so in laundry than just, and I didn't used to understand this, but coaching a lot of people, some franchisees, some large corporations, a lot of smaller, independents like us. I think there's a secret sauce. I think there's something special. I know there is, because laundry is so intimate to people. It's so personal. They almost don't want to outsource it to these large corporations. And I actually think that's unique. In a lot of ways, we do want the big players that can deliver on the value and the big name brand household this and household that. I've learned that when it comes to laundry, they actually want a local Queen City laundry. You know, they want them family owned, mom and pop. So I think that's a really smart strategy, but it's also just who you are, right? Is to make yourself the brand and to be local and focus on all that. And, you know, I'm guessing right now it's Beau or Liz picking up the laundry, you know, type of thing. There's something, you know, hopefully someday you'll outgrow that if that's your desire. But I think there's something special about that.
Improve your customer loyalty by providing digital entertainment at your laundromat. Magazine Jukebox is a digital entertainment hub offering magazines, games, and trivia to customers on their own personal mobile devices. No download required. The platform can be accessed via QR code, SMS, email, and/or app integration, and it's free for your customers. Magazine Jukebox keeps your visitors entertained, engaged, and happy while they're waiting for their laundry, creating a more positive experience at your laundromat. The platform also offers internal advertising banners, helping you with customer retention and ROI. Sign up for Magazine Jukebox on our website at laundromatmillionaire.com/services.
Yeah, but we definitely have battled, you know, there was a laundromat on the island, but we had to fight these people's feelings of it because it was a gross laundromat. There was another delivery service that was corporate that had failed them, you know, on a lot of levels. Kind of like one of those Uber, I think, like you sign up and then someone random picks it up. So we definitely have had to battle, you know, the trust issue for sure. But we're coming around now that we're kind of getting our name out there more and really trying to, you know, get ourselves involved in these community events and sponsoring things and trying to do trades, which I think has been huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So take us back to when you launched, or maybe even a month or two before you launched Pickup and Delivery. You had this concept, you had this idea. Mm-hmm. Walk us through the process of what you did to just to open the business. Because once again, we're speaking through your wisdom, your experience, what you maybe did right and what you maybe did wrong, and how can we bring value to someone that's sitting at home thinking about doing this? They're sitting there with their pen and paper taking notes, right?
They're like, I want to start a laundry service. How do I do it?
You know, the first thing we did was came up with a name. Like that was rule number one. Okay, so we're doing this. So we need a name. We knew we needed to start it. We wanted to start it on our property. We didn't have any means to buy a space and build it out. We've done that in the past as well, where we've gone in and built out spaces. And we really wanted to do this business on like really funding itself before we took out loans or got credit or whatever.
Just bootstrapping it.
Yeah, really just bootstrapping it. Sure. And so we came up with a name. We designed a logo. We kind of knew, like we made a mood board. We knew the feeling. We're really big, again, on branding. So we really wanted to nail the feeling of the brand. And we nailed it. And I remember telling Beau, like, okay, let's just put a phone number up. And he was like, what? We need a system. Like, you're just going to put a phone number and have people call us? Like,
spoken like a true entrepreneur. Yeah, exactly. Just put up a phone number. We'll figure it out.
But that definitely has been, I mean, one thing that Beau and I do, and it's worked out. It's also, you know, it's shot us in the foot sometimes, but it's, you know, we're definitely like, okay, let's go for it. And I'm a firm believer that if you have the idea, their chances are someone probably else has the idea too. So just move, just do it. Just get out there, start today. Mm-hmm. So then we built a website. Beau actually is pretty good. He bought a template. He just, you know, built that out. It was pretty simple, to be honest. It was like a one page, you know, about us.
One thing I think I would like to give to people is like knowing that like it doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. Like, right. It doesn't have to all be put together. Like I think in the past we've thought like, okay, we're going to open this graphic design agency. We need 5 computers. We have 5 employees, 5 computers. That's 5 desks. That's 5 mouse pads. That's 5 you know what I mean? Like to the fullest extent, like that's how you run an agency, you know? So it was important for us to know that like, we're going to take this business one step in front of the other.
We didn't need 10 washers to start. Right. We didn't need.
So it's like, how do we start on the most minimum budget? How do we get our name out there the easiest way and understand that like, it doesn't have to all happen right now and just let it work itself out, right?
Whether you already have a laundromat or are looking to get into the laundry industry, everyone needs proper drainage. We use HM Company drain troughs. Their drain troughs were first created in 1991, and they have been the leading drain trough manufacturer ever since. They're made in the USA, and their drain troughs are fully customizable to meet your needs. That's why we've used them ever since entering the industry. They're easy to clean for our staff and plenty sturdy when we need to walk on them when servicing our washers. With the ability to span up to 25 feet, our troughs rarely need to be connected together, creating an easy installation. Want to slope your trough like we do? No problem. Just let the experts at HM Company know. For more information, go to their website at draintroughs.com. That is draintroughs.com. HM Company Drain Troughs. They've been leading the industry since 1991. Check them out today.
Yeah.
So we did the website, and then we we used ChatGPT, which is huge for us. I am a huge believer in ChatGPT, and we came up with a couple of different marketing ideas just because we do love social media, but we needed to get the word out fast. And Instagram and social media tends to be a long play. And so we came up with a chalk marketing, like guerrilla marketing campaign, where we went around to all of the local parks, and then we created like a hopscotch. So it basically was like, you hop to step one, which was
like a laundry hamper.
Order your laundry. Yeah. Second one was like you hop to a dryer, like, we wash, dry, and fold. And then it was like spin around. So like it was really interactive for the kids and the families coming to the parks.
Okay, I gotta pause. I'm not completely understanding. I'm old. Okay, so like you drew chalk hopscotch things,
put
them in different parks?
Yeah, so basically, guerrilla marketing, just for everyone to know as well, is how do we market on the cheapest budget with the most impact on the audience viewers, right? So there's like something like 15 or 16 parks here in Bainbridge. So we basically got a map, figured out where all the parks were, went and bought a bunch of chalk, and this is all on our Instagram too. We shared all of it, so go check it out. We have all the cool videos, but basically our idea was like, where do all the parents go? We knew early on that there's like 12,000 households on an island of about 25,000 people.
And we needed to target
There's
families.
A lot of households here. We needed to target families. Yeah. We know that 4-person to 5-person family, those like, $80 to $150 pickup orders, like that's where we want to be. Right. So we picked all these parks. Summer's just starting, perfect time, right? And we basically, so we had like kind of a one we drew, and then we had like one was a hamper, one was a washing machine, and then number one was
you hop to number one.
Yeah,
and then,
so you kind of hop around, and the people are sitting there, and the kids are having a blast. Instantly, it was shared by like 5 moms on Facebook. So that spread like kind of wildfire across
the key
local community, right? Like we can market on a national level. Like we've managed thousands of ad dollars for our businesses, right? But like depends on who you're marketing to, where you're marketing to. And so like with the local market, this was like a knockout idea.
It was easy. So many people were talking about it.
$5 to hit like 7 installations,
So we're definitely going to continue to do that.
So we hit farmers markets, aside from the parks, and then some other big things we did right away were really like the old school marketing things, right? Like door tags. We I joined the chamber. I've hit every event of the chamber so far, and really, again, I go back to like, where's this business in this local community? All those events have just hit perfectly, right? Like the chamber is the events where you meet a mom or you meet a business owner that owns a spa, or like the Airbnbs and really like those tired methods, if people would describe them, they're working. They're golden, and it's beautiful because like the laundromat is such like a nostalgic thing for us. So like for us to be able to go back to those like grassroots marketing ideas, the things that like don't cost hundreds of dollars and all this stuff, is just it's been awesome to see it work. Mailbox tags. We've had a lot of just like very basic marketing entries that have worked really well right now. I think our customer base is up to I think we're at 108 in 6 months. So I'm pretty happy with both of us are pretty happy with that progression. With again not spending a whole bunch of money on marketing. So
yeah,
I love how you're integrating kind of that grassroots thing, but then how it's really going viral is your online presence, your social media pages that have a lot of following, and then also, as you mentioned, moms sharing it and stuff like that. Your people in the community sharing it on their own pages, and it's so much more powerful when other people are sharing your brand than when you're sharing your brand.
Power of influence for sure.
Way more powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we're doing very differently than I feel like any laundromat business for sure is we're sharing everything. So every month we check in on our social. We have a reel that shares our numbers, shares our amount of orders, how many pounds we process. We're very transparent about what we're making, and then our
the behind
process
the scenes building it, and that's been On TikTok, it's been huge. We're trying to get more of it on Instagram too, but because the channels are a little different in terms of the types of content people want to see. But I mean, the connection people have, like, I think the old style of marketing was very much so like, I'm going to show you the clothes I can wash. I'm going to show you like how great those clothes can be. And I think the new style of marketing is like, I'm going to show you how we wash the clothes and what the behind the scenes looks like. And so you really be a part of the brand, like showing people the numbers, like it's super vulnerable, but it also makes them feel like they're on our journey. Like they're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see the next video. Like, are they going to reach their goal next month? Kind of thing, like a storyline playing out.
Yeah.
Well, it causes them to feel like they're part of the story, which organically causes them to root for you. And if they root for you, of course, they're going to support you and tell people about you, right?
Yeah.
So that's powerful.
Would you like to make more money from your laundromat? Would you like those machines you're paying for to have more turns per day? Do you offer wash, dry, fold services or pickup and delivery laundry services? If not, would you like to? Whether you do or not, we have an amazing opportunity for you in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, you've probably heard about it, guys, but it's our wash, dry, fold, pickup and delivery workshop. And to answer your first question, yes, it is for drop-off laundry, wash, dry, fold, and pickup and delivery. So if you're doing any of those things, this workshop is going to help you tremendously. But the truth is, we were pretty so-so laundromat owners and so-so successful until we launched drop-off laundry and pickup and delivery. And being able to what I call optimize your laundromat to generate more profit and more revenue out of the existing facility, that's the key to taking your life from good to great, financially speaking, with laundromats. And that's what made us Laundromat Millionaires.
You don't have to just listen to us. Listen to what some of our past attendees have to say about our Wash, Dry, Fold Pickup and Delivery Workshop in Cincinnati, Ohio.
It was the best workshop I've attended in over 25 years. And what you guys have put together is nothing short of phenomenal. I think that you guys have put together both strategic and tactical systems that will make an individual who wants to own the laundromat profitable within months, not years.
Was the workshop worth the investment? Without a doubt, it was definitely worth the investment. So not only did we have two very packed days with Dave and Carla and their team, both in the classroom and touring the facilities, but we also came away with this extensive 100-page handbook. And then after the workshop was completed, I received a bunch of electronic performers and templates that we've been able to use since the workshop. Every day since the workshop, I found myself referring back to either those electronic tools or the handbook that we received. So,
was it worth the investment? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I cannot say that enough. This was such a blessing, and I am so very grateful that Dave and Carla put this together and are sharing their knowledge and experience with others to have this to grow their business and to become more successful. Thank you, guys.
So are you interested? Go to laundromatmillionaire.com to learn more and see where you can register.
So take us back to day one. You didn't have any customers. You've been doing all this work. You get the first customer. Who goes out and picks it? Like, tell me the nitty gritty.
Yeah, and
It was like 1 or 2 days after we had like opened for like the online ordering. And because we had started handing out marketing materials a little bit like before we had officially opened. Again, firm believer on like, just get the message out. So many people wait to tell people about their business until after they open.
Yeah.
Do it before you open.
Yeah.
And get people excited before you open. And then they can cheer you on when you open those doors instead of opening the doors and then like hearing crickets.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, I'm open. So it's the phone in the city. And it was like, all of a sudden he was like, hey, I think we have an order. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah.
What? It's actually working?
He's like, yeah, you got to pick it up. And I was like, oh my God, this is happening. Like, this is happening. Someone actually like is going to place an order.
Yeah. So she ran down there, grabbed that order, came back, and it was like a decent order. And then I remember for sure the next order we got, I went out and this lady had not done her laundry for 9 weeks. And
Oh goodness.
I remember we had like 8 bags that we bought like to start, like, so we have these really cool pink bags, and I show up with, I didn't have enough bags. I was like, so I had like plastic bags too with me. Like, we were ready for this. And it was so much laundry, guys. I think it was like 160 pounds of laundry. It was covered in cat hair. Like, I mean, it was like, I came home and I was like, we're in the laundry business. Like,
yes, you are.
I hope you know, like this is happening. Like, there's no going back now. And I was like,
oh my God.
okay, all right, well, we're going to go back. But
we got that and just started rolling with it, and it kind of just like started to pick up. I think the first week we had probably 3 orders, but
nice.
then that next week I think we probably had 10, and the sales just kind of have increased. And I'd say about each month, we had a little bit of a stall last month with like the holidays and stuff, but then the new year started and it was like, whoa.
So going back to your story, we understand now how you started. You're 6 months in, have about 108 customers now. What do your operations look like today? What does your facility look like? Employees, who's doing pickup and deliveries? Do you have a truck? Are you still using your own vehicle?
One of the biggest things as we continue to grow is just making sure that like our brand is as tight as possible, right? And that what we're doing and what we're putting out there is very representative of who we are as a business. And more important, like you said, Dave, who we are as people, right? So it's important for us that we continue to refine our branding. So we just redid our website that launched like last week. So that was a big kind of next step for us, right? It's like, again, going back to like, it doesn't need to be perfect. Like, get a website up, get some ordering going, come back to it when we have some time.
To go back just a little bit, Carla, on what you're saying, we are still using our own family vehicle as our delivery vehicle.
Yep.
We have finally reached the moment where I have to take car seats out and, to actually get all the orders in. We have had a couple of times where we have to come back and pick up more orders. It is what it is. Great. We're blessed to be busy. And again, the island, there is, surrounding communities, and we have had some people reach out to us saying, hey, can you come and deliver? Can you start expanding? And it's so tempting to want to expand because we're like, oh, we hear these people and they want our service. But it just tells us that, we have a great place to go once we get a grip on the island and really still maintaining that grip because we are in this really, like, we see the bottleneck coming because it is just Beau and I still. Because, of where we're located, we're in a tricky spot with an employee, and it makes it a little difficult right now with the delivery van to get an employee because it's not a company car. So we're in this like, okay, how do we, get to this next stage? How do we get the business to this next stage to get a spot? And I think that's the trickiest thing that we've been having is because we're on the island, we're limited. But our plan, I think Beau touched on in the beginning, is to expand. So next step would be to find a space, to get an employee, to get a delivery van, and then obviously more machines. But at this point, we're kind of going less towards, like, originally we're like, okay, let's go laundromat. But now we're going more like we just need a commercial space. So less about that front facing, customer laundromat vibe, more about like, we just need machines to handle like really, the load that's coming in and just having employees be able to work there, just a facility to really like start cranking stuff out.
There's a lot of potential and opportunity here still. Like, we haven't approached any businesses, like, there's a lot of things we're trying to do, right? And back to Liz's point, like, it's important for someone to know as well, like, not to bite off more than you can chew, right? Yeah. Like, it's so easy to be like, oh, well, good. Any business is great business. It's like, yeah, to the point of it's too much business and you can't handle it. And then you start slipping on all your other business, right? Your story resonated really a lot with us on, all your late nights, Dave, and like the Christmas story. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's sometimes I'm like, your head is so down and you're like, oh my gosh, like, so there's been many late nights. We are the ones folding. We are the ones, driving and washing and processing and everything. And this is a very like heart-led business right now, knowing that this is not where we will always be.
What are your, I just want to get into a little bit of the nitty gritty now. What do you charge? What are your price and how do you charge? By the bag, by the pound? That was all these controversial things.
So much controversy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just the other night we were going through all that again with the website redesign. I'm like, it's hard because it's like, that's one of the things too, right? Like, when it comes to software, it's like, you can't pick a price and then raise it 3 times in 1 year. Like, it doesn't work like that. And right now, and what we started with as well, was $2.50 a pound, and then we had $3.25 for next day. So our standard is 2 day or 48 hours, and then we have a next day as well.
Yep.
It kind of shifted away from that, and we are at $2.50 a pound right now for pay as you go orders without a subscription or a recurring service, recurring pickup, and then we're at about $2.12 a pound. So. And then we do discounts on all of our large items at that 15%. So it comes out to about a 15% discount for our recurring customers. Free delivery for those people as well. And then we have a monthly comforter wash that they get for people that are on weekly. So, and a lot of those people that have ordered once or twice, like Liz will call them. We have a nice script written up, and that can kind of float depending on the person. But we've had a really good conversion rate. I'd say about probably a 35 to 40% conversion rate on those people that we followed up with calls.
Yeah.
Now this is how a lot of people have grown their business as well, within the pickup and delivery, industry or, subset of having a laundromat is just, again, re-engaging those customers they already have. It's always going to be easier to
for sure.
Or get a new customer. So
yeah, for sure. So I'm always curious, and there's not a right answer to this, but how did you come up with that price?
The initial thing was seeing what the market was like. You have these bigger brands like Liz is talking about, like your Happiness and your Poplin's and your whatever, all those other ones that are charging literally next to nothing for their laundry. And there's so much unreliability. So, we know that in Seattle you can get up to $4 a pound over there. It can also get down to $1.50 a pound. We're in Kitsap County, so around the bend, if you drive off the island, we're looking at up Poulsbo and Silverdale. They have there's one person that does some stuff.
So you look at, who's in the market.
Looking at competing numbers, and then
ChatGPT.
I struggle with it every day though.
Well, I know people that are at home watching this are wanting to know, so that's why I like to always ask people. And if the answer is we just looked at a few competitors and we want to hit somewhere in the middle,
and
nothing wrong with that. You got to have a starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think pricing, with any business, I think someone can say too, it's so hard. It's so hard to get a formula or whatever, and knowing play where you're at.
And I think another thing for people listening is if you're familiar with ChatGPT, it's a great program, an AI program that you can type in. So once we were able to get some of our numbers and saying okay, we know our water is this much, we know our gas is this much, right? And getting our utilities in there, you can say okay, here's what it's costing us to run this business. Here's what we're charging per pound. How much are we actually profiting based on the loads we're doing a month and the income we're receiving, and it can really break it down on being so it's been able to break it down for us and saying okay, if we were to hire someone and and pay them $2,400 a month, we would be making a 30% profit on what we're charging per pound. Yeah. So I think that's something as business owners we've learned, just being an entrepreneur for years, is that you got to sometimes work backwards, because it's really easy to just be here's my price and then go forward. And then all of a sudden you're oh my God, we're not even profiting off of this. We're not even making a profit.
I'm not going to say our pricing's where it'll always end up being, but right now it feels comfortable. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So going back to some of your marketing strategies, I know you all really dove into the guerrilla marketing, and we have people ask all the time, I don't have a budget to spend a lot on, Google ads or geofencing or all these other current trends in marketing. What were the strategies you found that worked, and did you try any you found weren't very successful?
Yeah, I like the second part of that question too.
So guerrilla, the chalk marketing was huge.
Super
really easy. You guys, you don't need to know how to draw. It's just really easy. None of us are extreme artists. It's just drawing a circle, drawing some squares. I would say that was really successful. The door tags I don't think those were as successful as the mailbox tags. So Canva has a really cheap, easy way to print cards. And you can get them on the mats, if you print matte or glossy, that they're not affected by weather. So you pay $100, you get 1,000 of them. And
We've probably gotten 35% of our customers.
we just
like,
slip them in like the part where you put the flag, you know, like
don't
where
put stuff in mailboxes.
yeah, you don't put them in
This is
mailbox.
my-
You don't
this
put
is-
them in the newspaper bin. You put them where they would put their mail to
tuck them somewhere
to go out.
and that's worked incredible, like incredible. And so
And we do an incentive on those. I want to be clear as well. We do an incentive on the card. It says $20 off your first order. The cards are very bright, very clear. I think that's kind of what Beau kind of hints at when he says branding, is that like oftentimes like it's in our inherent nature to say, okay, I do landscaping, so my card's going to be green. That's great, but you are kind of almost shooting yourself in the foot. You're blending in. Like you're literally blending into every other landscaper. And so really, like, you know, our cards are bright pink. They immediately stand out. They're unmissable. And then, yeah, we've increased our referral program. So we've also done like a double points to refer people, which has worked out really well. And that's free. It's completely free to establish a referral program.
yeah, I think that's been, and then I think one that I think has been a flop as far as time and energy and it goes was the door tags. I mean, I hit like a neighborhood, like, and knowing too that like, I'm going to double back here, knowing that like when you do something once, it doesn't mean it's like over, right? Like, so like all of these houses that we've hit, I plan on going back 7 times over the next 3 years, right? Like, so like knowing that like you're like, someone could be out of town. So it's the same with social, right? If someone doesn't see your post, like you should post more of that same type of content, right? Like you cannot think that someone's going to see and just trust you and just go with it
7 times
within one, you know, and some people do. Some people, you're the life savior. Like I said, people are calling and be like, where were you? Like,
but there's levels, right?
There's levels. Yeah. So I think that knowing how to, you know, play that, but the door tags, I mean, I hoofed it like 3 days in like 95-degree weather. Like, and like, I mean, I think we got like 2 customers off of like 1,000 door tags. So it's like, no, like never again.
We also we handed out like marketing materials that didn't really do
so we
anything.
went to
like, at a
4th
parade,
of July
that did
parade.
nothing.
Yeah, we handed out like we had like little stain remover wipe packets and we put a sticker on that. It's 20% off. So again, like like a big one I would say for people too is like if you're a community, especially a smaller community, and you're doing this laundromat, you're doing this pickup and delivery service, like you have to get to these events. There's just no excuses. Like I think it has been a huge driver to our success. So furthermore, off of that, you know, we've entered into a few partnerships throughout the summer this year that we'll have like a tent at a music event that's literally like, you know, 8,000, 10,000 people come to. And they will be able to educate as well. So that's a big other piece of like having people understand that like.
One thing lastly I want to add to that's completely free, I guess it's your time and your money, but we were able to, so we traded events, like sponsored events. Schools have been amazing. They always have like school, like fun fests and fairs and things that they want to raise money for. So we gave like 2 different schools, you know, a month free laundry for a teacher, like, you know, or one of them we were like, you know, to bid on for silent auctions that they've hosted. We've donated those, and we did one of them in October, and that was one of our biggest months. So, and it was very much so like directly from that event. So again, like how can you thinking about like, if I can't give money, if I literally don't have ad money, like you were talking about, to put into Google ads or whatever it is, then trade your time, right? Trade your resources that you have. And because again, those people, all the parents are walking around at those events, they're looking at the silent auction, it's listed on all the marketing materials. And even that intrigue, even if they're not bidding on it, they're saying, who's Lotta's Laundry? Who is this company, right? It's just putting that thought in their head.
Yeah. Another big one we did that I feel like worked really well were yard signs. So many people, I saw your pink sign.
Again, bright pink.
Like logo, very, very clear, like pick up and delivery laundry. Like back to Liz's point, like they don't need to know everything right now.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of people on their signs will put like 20 things and you're like, I can't, I'm driving. Like really? Like, yeah. So it's like just really bold. Pick up and laundry delivery. Boom. Like, and so easy to get, really easily interpreted.
So I think, you know, and maybe the recurring pattern here is like, we've tried a lot of things. Yeah. You know, it's important to just try things and understand not to do too many things at once. Yeah. Because you're not going to know it's working. It's just going to be like, great, I'm getting business, but like you're still putting all these dollars in different places. So like, it's important for us that we never are doing more than like 2 things at once, like campaign wise, right? The last part that I just remembered too, that we've been getting into in this last month is SMS messaging as well. So that's been like a huge like automation we've set up. We're setting up some Zapier integrations that are allowing for like that consistent contact, that follow up for reviews. We have 13 Google reviews in 6 months, which, as you know, I'm sure Google reviews are so hard to get. You guys, like, from more of the episodes I've went through with you guys, you've tried a lot of different things to integrate. Now you have that nice system for your customers, but so it's learning things, and again, continuing to research, like, and knowing that, like, just because it worked for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So, like, you can't also get mad at that person we think about any of this as wasted time. Liz and I are big proponents for failing. You don't learn without failing. Like, it's ridiculous for people to think they can go through and just hit all their strides. It's life doesn't work like that.
Entrepreneurship does not work like that at all.
Sure.
No, it does not.
And you're going to be so mad at yourself if that's how you go through it, But I think oftentimes it's easy for people to start a business, say, well, I need to be on social media. I need to do Google ads, because that's what I've heard. I've heard someone tell me to do this. And you don't. You just need to take a deep breath and say, what makes sense? If I'm trying to hit a local audience as fast as possible, then I need to get in front of them, like today. And sometimes Instagram and social media, Google ads aren't always that. It's more of a long play.
I think that's probably the key takeaway from everything you all just said about your guerrilla marketing efforts was figure out what works in your community. For you all are on an island that has very much that community vibe to it. And, you're targeting families. So you're looking at, okay, where are the parents? Where are the kids? That's where I need to be with my ads. So you mentioned the parks, the schools. You're very community focused. So you mentioned joining the commerce or whatever. What is it called? Chamber of Commerce. Couldn't think of words. Okay. But joining your Chamber of Commerce and everything like that. And I think that's the key takeaway, is that there's all kinds of different ways you can market. Some of them are more expensive. Some of them are cheaper. Some of them are going to work in your market and some of them won't. The door hangers probably wasn't worth your time in that 95-degree heat, but you found the ones where you stick in the mailbox, you got more customers. And depending on your market, if you're a small town, some of that door hangers and those mailboxes might work. If you're in the middle of New York City, do they even you can't even get to the mailboxes,
Mailboxes, who knows?
Yeah, they have gatekeepers.
Yes, you have to have the key to get to the lobby, to all the mailboxes. So I think it's knowing your community and knowing your clientele, knowing your avatar of who you're trying to reach, and then going where they are. And just being willing to put forth that sweat equity like you did, just to reach them. And just to kind of tie a bow on this, I want to bring it back to how you said, though, your current customers are so excited about your service. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good your marketing is. If your customers are not happy, you're advertising for nothing. If they're going to use your service once and then never use it again because it wasn't a good experience. So at the end of the day, work on your product, work on your service, work on your product, get it where it needs to be, and this advertising to get that word out. But make sure the product's good.
Yeah, that's a great point, Carla. One of the worst things we can do as business owners is go out there and market a bad product.
Yeah,
you're so right.
Talk about flushing money and time down the toilet.
Totally. I agree.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, we thank you guys for joining us today. I mean, this has been so cool getting to hear the beginning of your journey. We'd love to kind of put a stamp in it for now and maybe come back in a couple years and see where you guys are at. Maybe you'll have 19 businesses by then. Who knows? Yeah. Awesome. Well, listen, it was great meeting you guys. Before we let you go today, how can people get in touch with you? Because it sounds like you have quite a social media following and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So we have Lotta's Laundry. That's kind of all of our socials. And then we have our kind of other subset of that. It's Beau and Liz. That's kind of like our personal endeavors.
You can find our business brain dumps, our random excursions that we go on, entrepreneur fails.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we put all of that stuff. Lotta's is more like the laundry, the professional side. But feel free to message us anytime. We're open book, as you can probably assume from this podcast. Beau and I could talk all day about this. So your viewers just know we're always here to give advice. It lights us up. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, and then
awesome.
They were super thankful for this opportunity.
Yeah,
and
thank you guys.
Yeah, and like Liz said, any questions anyone has, we're an open book. So
awesome. We appreciate that, and hopefully we'll get to meet you in person someday at a clean show or industry conference or something like that. For everyone back home, thank you for joining us today for another episode of the Laundromat Millionaire Show, sponsored by HM Company DrainTroughs.com. We'll see you next time for another episode. Take care.